Stone vet, stone vet, stone vet, stone vet, stone vet, stone vet. The stone vet, the stone vet, the stone vet.
What's up, guys? RNG here from the Stone Vet USMC. Man, happy Friday, guys. I'm glad you guys are here with me, getting ready to enjoy the weekend, coming to hang out, listening to my crazy chaos, my crazy shows. You guys already know my Wednesday episodes, I get a little political and get a little stupid and talk about how I feel our country's going. But my Friday episodes are a great opportunity to bring on veterans who found their purpose after serving. Like I tell you guys, that's the biggest struggle I think that we have, is trying to find our purpose. What the hell do I do now? What the fuck do I do now after I got out of service? Where do I go? What do I do? What do I need to be doing? How do I make a living now, right? Because when you're in service, that's what you did. When you're active duty like me, that's all you did every day in, day out, 7 days a week for however long, 4 years, 14 years, or 40 years. That's what you did. Somebody was telling you what to do, when to do, and how to do it. They even told you what the hell to wear for that day. You know what I'm saying? And this is the biggest struggle. That's why I'm glad I'm able to do these shows for you guys, to see other veterans who have been in service, found their purpose, found what they're doing, man. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe so you know every time these episodes come out. Like I told you guys, I got my Wednesday episodes and my Friday episodes. Fridays are one of my favorites. Wednesdays, I get to just let shit off my chest that I've been watching on the mainstream media. Like I tell you guys, don't watch it because you're going to be like, what the hell's going on with our country, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Raffle 180. Raffle 180 provides you 100% THC-free medicinal grade CBD, guys. It's like I tell you guys, that's the purpose of my show, is to help break the stigma on medicinal cannabis and CBD products. Like I tell you guys, if you've been on pharmaceuticals, and like any of y'all know, the VA will pound pharmaceuticals down your throats, continue giving you, and there's no medicinal benefits for you, because all it's doing is killing your intestines, killing your livers, killing your freaking esophagus and everything else inside of you. And then guess what? It just makes you worse off than before you started. I told one guy the other day, I said, do you know what a side effect of anti-anxiety is? I said, anxiety is a fucking side effect of anti-anxiety medication, dude. I hate what the VA is doing to us, but that's my goal, though, is to help break the stigma and help advocate for the medicinal benefits of cannabis, to help with the legalization here in our country, man. Like I tell you guys, go check out raffle180.com for your medicinal grade CBD. Like I said, they got bath bombs, they got balms, they got creams, they got lotions, they got lip balm. CBD helps. Like I tell you guys, if you guys are always interested in wanting to know how can it work, how can it help me, how can I get off my medications, reach out to them. Go over to raffle180.com. And like I said, when you go to checkout, type in the Stone Vet USMC to get you 15% off your entire purchase, man. I'm super excited. This Friday, I'm able to bring on Matt. And guess what? He's another Army vet, guys. Like I tell you guys, Army's always proud to come on the Stone Vet. I don't know if it has to do with cannabis or it's because I'm a Marine. I don't know. Maybe it could be both. I don't know what it's about, man. What's up, man? How you doing today?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it.
No, I'm super excited, man. I'm super excited that you're here, because you're another advocate like myself. I'm glad that you're a vet, because like I tell everybody, man, I don't give a fuck what branch you in. Even the fucking Space Force now. I don't care what branch you in. You still sign that fucking dotted line and say, I got you a 6, right? I'm here to protect this country. I'm here to protect this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And like I said, if you watch mainstream media like me, we got a lot of fucking internal fucking terrorists right now that's trying to take over our country, and it's fucking ridiculous. And it's almost time we have to strap up our boots and be like, all right, let's take our country back, like they did back in 1776, right?
Couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
Where we at here?
Look at that. Look at that, 17, absolutely, you know what I'm saying? And it's true, guys. It's true on so many levels, man. I'm super excited. I got Matt here. Matt he's a reservist. He's a part-time military guy. But I mean, for the reserves, it's still hard, because he came in 01, right? He came in, he actually told me he joined 4 days before 9/11 happened, dude. I was like, imagine going through boot camp during 9/11 when 9/11 happened, man. And I bet it's a hell of a story, right, Matt?
Absolutely, man. I won't point punches about my service. Like I joined, I was going to college. I'm the oldest of 5. I was on my own to pay for college and everything. I was a year in, and I decided to join, the reserves to get that benefit, get my college paid for.
No shit.
Do a little service along the way,
Right.
And
absolutely.
So the unit I joined, like I was telling you before, hadn't deployed since the Korean War. And I get in 4 days into basic training, and they form us up at the end of the day on 9/11, and we're like, informed us of what happened, and it took a total different spin. It made basic training really interesting. But fast forward, finished basic training. A couple months later, deployed for a year. That was Drone Operation Enduring Freedom. And again, to be perfectly honest, I never saw any combat. We did some security, some force protection. That's what I did, and hadn't saw another deployment. And then I did 6 years. I ended up getting married while I was in, started having kids. I got out after my 6 years in 2007, and then but then the unit I was in started deploying like every 3 years or so, up until they did their last deployment. I think they deployed in 2014 and got back in 2015, and that was over to Afghanistan. So that unit deployed twice to Afghanistan, twice to Iraq from 2007 to 2015.
And you're like, fuck, dude, you guys ain't deployed since fucking Korea. Now you deploy.
Yeah, man.
Every other year.
Shout out to those guys doing that. Those reservists, those National Guard guys who are doing those long deployments like that. I mean, because that's something they do it all the time. And, you don't hear a ton about it. I've heard a lot of active guys giving them credit for those long rotations they do. Like right. You said, for whatever reason, when they deploy those Army guys, those reservists, they deploy them for like ever.
Forever.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, bro. I mean, because I don't know what it is. My dad's retired Army. He was a reservist in the Army. He wasn't National Guard like you. He was a reservist in the Army. And he went to Afghanistan. I swear he spent like 15 months in Afghanistan. I was like, why, dude? I was like, I said, I know why. I said, because the Marines go in there and blow shit up, tear everything apart. And the Army has to go in there and advocate and say, we'll apologize. Let's fix this. We're going to fix this for you is what happened. My dad was in Afghanistan. He's like, I knew every time I went into a town, I knew Marines had been there. And I was like, why you say that? He said, because every building had holes in it. There were fucking holes in all the buildings. Like they shot every fucking building up and they would blow holes in the wall just to go through the fucking building. I was like, well, I mean, if there's a door there, we usually like to blow, because we don't know what's behind the door, but let's blow a hole in the wall because now that we know there ain't going to be nothing behind the wall if we blow a hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And yourself, you were a combat engineer, right? You say you were a 12 Bravo, right?
12 Bravo, man.
12 Bravo, as opposed to the 11 Bravos that everybody knows about. Everybody knows about the 11 Bravos.
That's your grunts. That's your infantry guys. Yeah.
That's your true infantry guys. But this guy was I guess since he's a 12 Bravo, he's a little bit more explosives experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said about your experience, like we were all trained up. We blew shit up all the time in training and then never used it in the field.
I know, especially you being deployed. You deploying as much as you did. You're like, why can't I blow something up, dude? I just want to blow shit up.
Yeah, I blew up more shit in the civilian world than in that. I had this construction job for this road construction company, and they found out I was a military. What were you? 12 Bravo. Oh, you explosives guy. And so boom, they put me on a explosives right? We were drilling and blowing stuff up. Like I did that all the time. It was pretty cool.
Oh, I bet. So for you being a National Guard guy, like you said, you deployed 12 plus months out to fucking either the sandbox or the mountains, either way. How was that transition for you? Like you said, you were going to school and you had taken time off of school to go to boot camp to do your part to do your part for this country, right? You were like, I got to do my part for the country, and hell, they're gonna pay for my college. I might as well go fucking join them. They're gonna help pay for my college or whatever, So were you working construction during that time while you was in school?
No. When I was in school, I was going to school. I was working a little bit of odd jobs, and then when I decided to join the military, I took a semester off, but I was enrolled for the following semester. So, the game plan was to come back, get back into school, do my duty, my weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. And then, then we got smacked with,
you thought you got smacked with
deployment. Yeah. So we did that. And, it just was what it was. I think that the biggest thing with those, going away and doing those deployments is like just accepting the fact that like, hey, you got this time that you're going to go do. You're doing something that's valuable, something that's meaningful, and you just go do it. And then you coming back. I think the thing I struggled with, like I was 19 when I left for basic.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't back in school till the fall of 2003 when I was turning 22. So like there's a lot of growing up went on,
Right.
you know, in that time frame. So for me, like just readjusting to, and another thing is when you're 19 and you're in the military, you know, you got no kids, you got no bills, you got no nothing. You think you're rich, you know.
No shit, dude. No, I understand. I joined when I was 17.
Yeah.
I was in the Marine Corps. I was in boot camp at 17 years old. So I completely understand, you know what I'm saying? That's why I try to tell people. They're like, why are you the way you are? I said, I was a fucking minor when I joined the Marine Corps. I was 25, 26 years old when I got out. So guess who my mama and my daddy was? With the fucking Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand that. I was like, that's why I'm so fucked up. That's why I am the way I am. Because, you know what I'm saying? My parents, I grew up in a broken home. I didn't have a mom and a dad. You know, my mom worked all day just to support for us. And my dad, he left. And, you know what I'm saying? I saw him maybe once a month, if that, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I grew, like I said, I was 17 years old. My mind was still trying to develop, though. Who are you and what are you going to do? You know, I was in boot camp. I was in boot camp January. You know what I'm saying? I'd been 17 for 6 months before I joined boot camp. I had turned 17 in June. I joined boot camp. I went to boot camp in January, you know? And so that's what I try to tell people.
Paris Island?
No, I went to, I was West Coast Marine. I was Hollywood Marine.
West Coast.
I went San Diego. I tell the guys I'd rather deal with the mountains than the sand fleas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know? And so that's what I try to tell people. So, I mean, like you said, you were still young. I mean, you're 19. That's still young, dude. You're still trying. Yeah, granted, you're an adult technically on the aspect of the government. You're 19 years old. You're an adult. But really, you don't know shit. You're still trying to figure it out yourself. You're still trying to figure out what the fuck you're going to do. You're going to college. You're going to college because you're like, I'm going to go to college to get the degree in this. You know,
when you go to basic training at 19, I turned 20 while I was in basic training. You're the old man in there,
right? Yeah, absolutely.
I had guys who were 17, 18. You know, because most people go, you know, right out of high school or something.
Right after high school, right? Absolutely. And like you said, you got a little bit of experience. You're going to college for a little bit, and you know, you got a little bit more experience than the young guys who just got out of high school that are going to boot camp. You know,
sure.
And so that's a struggle that I guess a lot of us active duty guys will probably have to. What I'm trying to get to is just that as a reservist, yeah, you got a career. You're already doing your job. Whether you're going to school or you're working, you're out in jobs, whatever the case may be. And they call you up, and guess what? Now you're going active duty for another year and a half, or whatever the case may be. And then you got to get out, and you come back. When you come back, it's not like you have to let your employer know, hey, this is when we're expected to come back. You know what I'm saying? This is when my orders end, right? So for us, when we come back on active duty, when we come back, they give us 2 weeks to like get us back into routine again. You know what I'm saying? We got to go through training. They got to give us all this training. You're back in the civilian world. This is how you're supposed to act. This is, you know, the whole 2 week ordeal. And during those 2 weeks, all we're doing is getting fucking drunk because we haven't had alcohol in the past fucking 9 months. You know what I'm saying?
I remember we did that at Fort Dix, New Jersey. I remember.
You know?
I can remember.
So
like
you're just fucking drinking. You're just drinking just because you're like, I'm able to drink again. You know. And for us, I mean, and then they say, okay, after the 2 weeks, and you go on vacation. If you got leave saved up or whatever, you can go on leave for a couple of weeks or whatever the case may be. And then you come back to work, and it's like, all right, now we got to get back on the grind, start doing our normal routine again. We're no longer deployed. But for a reservist, National Guard guy like yourself, you come back, you got to go back to work, right? You got to go work with civilians again, you know?
Yeah. You might get a little break. You know, you got your terminal leave you accrued up during your deployment, you know, and you take that. Because when you get deployed as a reservist, you get all the active duty benefits, so your accrued leave and everything, which you never use because you're deployed.
Right. Right.
So what do you get, 2.5 days a month or something? So you're deployed for 12 months. You come back with 30 days worth of leave. Right. So you stay on orders and take leave.
Right?
Yeah, so you wrap up. Yes, you might get whatever 4 weeks to yourself, and then it's back to things. In my case, I came back. You know, I left the kid. You know, 19. Came back over 21, and in the middle of a college semester, which was too late for me to start. So I had from February of 2003 until late August of 2003 when I was going to go back to school. Well, and I made all this money over there being deployed.
Right, being deployed, right? All tax-free money, right?
Now I'm of age, so basically for 5 months just
fucking drink.
partied like a rock star.
Right, get all this extra money.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. It was immature and whatever. And but yeah, so I had a long adjustment period to kind of figure that out just with the timing of my stuff. But yeah, it's definitely when you come back, like getting back into that routine. Because like you said, when you're active or you're deployed, you're told what time to wake up, what time to go to bed for the most part, when to eat, what you eat, what you're gonna wear. Like there's no thought going into it. Then I mean, if you're not in a combat situation, like there's not a lot of stress involved in your life.
Absolutely.
It can be pretty chill. So yeah, there's all that coming back to reality and getting back into kind of the normal
routine, right?
of life.
Dealing with regular civilians and people who've never deployed and people who don't understand the up tempo. Because like you said, you're like, yeah, granted, it's a 12 to 15 month deployment, but he said we're training 6 to 9 months before we go. So you're on active duty orders, before, so you can train up to get ready to go. And it's a headache. You guys know active duty. You guys understand the up tempo. Whenever it's time to deploy, yeah. 6 to 9 months before deployment, guess what? You're going to fucking field ops. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're getting everything up and ready to go for deployment, inventories and all that shit. And it sucks, dude. But I think for reservists and National Guards people, it's a little bit harder because they're already in their career. They've got their job. They're more civilian than what us active duty guys are, right? I mean, you work with these guys. You work with those guys on a regular basis. You've built your friendships and shit like that. That's one of my things my wife tells me. I've been out since 2009, and it's still a fucking struggle for me. She's like, you have to go make friends. I was like, how the fuck do you make friends? Like, I don't know how to talk to normal people that have never served in the military, that don't understand the logic behind the shit that's going on in life.
Yep.
I look at life a whole different way than what somebody else looks at life. Like, I mean, everything, I'm always uptight, I'm always aware, I'm always vigilant of what's going on. And if something's stupid, I'm gonna call you out on it and say that's fucking retarded. You shouldn't be doing that.
Absolutely.
But I mean, for you guys, like you reserves and National Guardsmen, you guys have worked with these guys for who knows, a year, 2 years, 3 years before you deployed. You built your relationship, you built friendships with these guys, and then when you come back, I'm sure they look at you like, you're not the same anymore, dude. Like, you're not the same guy you were before you deployed.
No, that's absolutely the case. Because flipping that switch on and off when you're a reservist, because you know what it's like. Like you throw the uniform on, now all of a sudden, maybe you chew or smoke in the uniform, or you cuss like a sailor, so to speak.
Right.
And then you come Monday morning, you throw your suit and tie on, and you're selling insurance or whatever the shit you're doing.
Absolutely, what I'm saying? Like me, because my wife always tells me, she's like, you cuss like it's nobody's business, because like I said, when you're in uniform, it's fuck this, fuck that, this is fucking ridiculous, this is bullshit and all that, right? But like you said, when you go to work with these guys, you're like, what the fuck are you all talking about? They're going to look at you like, why are you talking like that, dude? Why are you talking like that, dude? You can't talk like that. What the fuck you mean I can't talk like,
it's just one of those things that it's the nature of being in. It's the nature of that just kind of the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the whatever you want to call it. It's just how you act. It's how things go. Right? It's how it still goes today, despite what people want to think it is or make it to be. It's just what it is.
Absolutely. And that's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for you, I'm sure it was a struggle for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you going back to work and you working with these guys again after your deployment, after your up tempo, and you already know, I'm probably going to deploy again in another year. I'm going to have a year here and they're going to rack me up and I'm going to deploy again. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to deploy in another year to Afghanistan this time versus Iraq or whatever, And just understanding that up tempo and knowing and maintaining that up tempo there. I mean, I'm sure the struggle was hard for you guys because, like you said, us active duty, we doing it every day. That motherfucker to my right and to the left of me, we're in the shit. We're working together every day. We're building our relationship. We're growing together stronger because we work together every day. He gets tired of me. I get tired of him. We duke it out back, and then we come back to work and get the job done because we know, hey, this is part of the mission, right? But for somebody like you, you don't get to build that relationship with those guys you're getting ready to deploy. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to see them until your up tempo picks back up, and then you build that relationship with them. You know, and so it's kind of like, fuck. Now I'm going to deploy with somebody completely different. It ain't even the same guys I deployed with before, because now they're pulling them from different states to so we can ramp up our numbers, right?
Yep, they do that, and then also like the cycle of guys coming in, getting out, is also, I think, a little, the tempo of that's a little more, but with those deployments, like I've watched guys, and I was fortunate in kind of the timing of mine. Like, it didn't screw, I missed 2 years of school, but in the scheme of things, whatever, no big deal.
Right.
But I watched guys who come in a little ahead after me, like maybe like a year or so. And then they hit that cycle of deployments, like going from like 2007 to 15.
Right.
That, like, I know guys who got in when they were like 20 in 2007, and they were never able to finish school. They were never able to hold a steady job because they got deployed 4 times in 8 years. And when it's not even their career, like, so it's a little bit different when you're active duty, because like that's you're choosing that as a career path, right? Or maybe not. But if you're not choosing it as a career path, you have a defined amount of time where you're there anyway, so the deployment doesn't matter. Well, when you're a reservist and you go and you get deployed and you're home for 12 months and you get deployed again, well, and you're a 20-year-old kid, like, and then you get, by the time that's all said and done, you're 30 and you're sitting here, no school, no career, no nothing. And then you don't have the benefits of, like, let's say you say, all right, well, listen, I put 8 years in already, 9 years. I'm going to put my 20 in. Well, you put your 20 in, your pension as a reservist is like, well, you can get $700 a month or something.
No shit.
Like,
and then you can even collect that till you're fucking 60 anyways.
Exactly. So like it's not like being on active duty. You put your 20 in, you retire, boom, you get your pension, you get your health care, you get all that stuff. So it's like, as a reservist, it can be a little, scenarios like that didn't happen to everybody, but there's a few people that I know personally that's happened to, and they're sitting here and they're set back so far. Because of the nature of that. So
no, and it sucks. And it's like you said, it sucks because it's hard to have a career. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to have a career in something because a lot of people, if your employer sees it, granted, they're not supposed to discriminate against you being a reservist and being deployed. They're not supposed to, right? We already know they're going to discriminate against you. You're not going to be here long enough to grow in the company. You're not going to be here long enough to get the promotions that you deserve to have,
Well, private business, even if they don't discriminate, they still have to do what's in the best interest of their business,
right?
Without discriminating. Like, so you might miss opportunities to advance and everything else. It's not necessarily discriminating, but you're just missing it because you're not there.
You're not there,
that business still has to move forward, whether you're in Afghanistan, Iraq, or here working.
Right, and it sucks, you know what I'm saying. And this is what's great, though. This is why I like doing my Friday episodes, because us as veterans, we hate working for people. We hate working for somebody. So a lot of people damn near everybody I bring on my show has started their own business. They've gotten into whatever it is, woodworking, fucking automotive, web design, making T-shirts, hats. People, veterans, they hate working for somebody because they hate getting told what to do. They said, I dealt with that for so many fucking years. I don't want somebody telling me what to do anymore. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I got out after 6 years. I didn't. I went in as an enlisted guy, man. I didn't take well to.
And that's what I tell people. I said it's a little bit different. That's what I try to tell people. I said between the enlisted and the commissioned side, it's a different ball game. You know what I'm saying? As a commissioned officer, you got to live life a little bit. You went to college. You got your degree. That's why you're an officer now. And a lot of those guys, they think outside of the box. Like for us enlisted guys, we're very narrow-minded and we focus on what's in front of us, right? We focus on
you kind of lower enlisted. You do what you're told, and
you do what you're told, and you're getting paid. You're like, this is a good paycheck. I've never made this much money before, And you do what you're told, and you just keep thinking. You just stay narrow-minded. Versus like an officer, they kind of think outside the box. They're able to start their own business. A lot of them start their own business while they're on active duty orders and stuff like that. And for some enlisted guys, don't get me wrong, there's some guys that think outside of the box because they were able to mature before enlisting. They understand, In order to make money, you have to start your own business. You have to think outside the box on what to do. I didn't start thinking about it until fucking after I got out of the Marine Corps. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know, what is it that I'm good at? What can I do? You know? And so maybe one day, hopefully, this show will pick up and get big enough to where this shit will just start paying me to be able to do this show and bring you guys on every day.
That'd be awesome.
Which would be great, which would be great to sit here and talk in front of, talk on a microphone and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? People are doing it. They do it on a regular basis, and they're getting paid good money to it. And maybe one day, maybe I can get my head out of my ass and start reaching out for more sponsors to come over and sponsor the Stone Vet, But right now, my biggest goal right now is to help break the stigma on medicinal cannabis. And I think that's my biggest thing is finding more advocates that understand the medicinal benefits of hemp and cannabis itself, and help understand and help grow it. You know what I'm saying? I think once the legalization occurs across the country, that's when I'll start reaching out more and start reaching out more sponsorships and stuff like that. But I mean, right now, that's my biggest goal right now, is to help with the legalization of medicinal cannabis. I mean, regardless of with the new bill that they're trying to pass, that Chuck Schumer and Booker and all them are trying to pass. I mean, it's still up to the state, regardless of what state you're in. So if your state, if you guys are watching, if your state doesn't have medicinal or recreational cannabis, what are you doing to advocate with your governor to let him know, hey, let me tell you the medicinal benefits? Here in Oklahoma, everybody's like, I can't believe Oklahoma legalized it. We're the fucking middle of the Bible Belt. Everybody's like, you all the Bible Belt state, But guess what? It's legal here. 57% of the population said let's legalize medicinal cannabis, But that's because we had 57% of the population advocating, going to the governor's mansion, going to the fucking state capitol and advocating, fighting, educating. Because the biggest thing I try to tell you guys, especially with my show, if you watched it long enough, my goal is to help educate you. I tell you guys, take what I tell you guys with like a grain of rice. Go and do your own research and find out the medicinal benefits itself. Because I know as veterans, we hate fucking doing research. We hate reading shit. We hate it. We'd rather have somebody to show us so we can get it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier for us to understand if somebody shows us. But do your research. Look into it. Start reading into it. I pulled up an article because they're not going to talk about this. Mainstream media, if you guys are watching mainstream media, they're not going to talk about the legalization of medicinal cannabis across the nation. They're not talking about it. But if you go in there and you find reports, there's a lot of great news media outlets. They're not right-wing. They're not left-wing. They're just telling you the news. This is the news across the country. You take it however you want, regardless if you're left or you're right. You take it how you want. And that's who I look into. That's what I read. Just tell me the news. Just tell me the news. Tell me what's going on around the world. And so I looked up the CARE. I think it's the CARE Act is what they're calling it now. And so they're pushing it. And so I told you guys a while back that they were requesting people to provide insight into the medicinal benefits. Provide insight so that Schumer, all the senators could look into it so they can compile it together. So when they go to fight the legalization, they have all this information that people provided for them, and they just closed out, and they said they're starting to compile it all together, and they said it looks really good. It looks promising, which is great. I don't know in Pennsylvania. Have you guys went medicinal yet?
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
Pennsylvania's talking about legalizing it recreationally here, hopefully this year. And we've gone to, so as business owners, and both of my partners are both vets as well. We've gone to several, working with the senator's office, state senator's office, state representative's office. We've gone to town hall meetings where we've got up and spoke as business owners. So like, not only do we want to see it legalized, what we want to see is the business kept local in state. I think that's an important thing for each state, because each state's going to have the opportunity to legalize it. Right. But if you're going to allow Canadian companies or international companies to come in,
they're going to wipe everybody out.
Set up shop, because there's these huge organizations that happened in Pennsylvania with some of the medicinal dispensaries. They come in, they get the license, boom, they open up. And they're taking money right out of the hands of guys like, hey man, we'll grow marijuana. We'll
Right.
sell we'll sell medical marijuana or recreational marijuana or whatever. We want the opportunity to do it. So one of the things they're putting in the bill for Pennsylvania is it's called a social capital clause, where a private business, they have to come with certain capital requirements, like $1 million in liquidity
Oh,
and
okay.
big application fee, like $150,000 or something.
Right.
It's some ridiculous barrier to entry, but they're going to allow people to apply with social capital. So, like, if you're a veteran-owned business, minority-owned business, woman-owned business, things like that will allow you to enter in at a lower sort of buy-in.
Right. Which is great. That's what you have, man. And that's what I try to tell you guys. Like I tell people, Mr. David Bass out in Texas, he has been fighting for cannabis. So they don't have what you would say like medicinal benefits. They have a teacup program. It's a Texas compassionate use program is what it is. And all they're allowing is pretty much is edibles, because they said it has to be within 5 milligrams THC content, which I was like, who the fuck wrote this, dude? Like, what? But it's a start. It's a step forward. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I try to tell people. If you come over to STONED VET USMC, if you look under my files, I actually have a documentation written by the Veteran Action Council. It's a bunch of veterans out of Phoenix, Arizona. Rico out of Phoenix, Arizona is one of the head guys for the Veteran Action Council. He wrote this document. It's a 60-page document discussing the medicinal benefits of cannabis and how it helps battle PTSD, how it helps with anxiety, how it helps with pain management. It's a great document. I've been pushing it to my senators here in Oklahoma. And this is what I tell people. I said, go and grab this document and start pushing it. If you're in a state and you don't have it medicinal yet, well, how are you advocating? How are you letting your governor know, hey, this needs to be legal? Because the governors is in charge of the state. That's who's in charge of your state, or your governors. Are you going and you fighting and you protesting? You're saying, hey, look, let me discuss the medicinal benefits. We need to have this. And how are you letting other people understand, hey, we need to legalize this? Because right now I want to say there's 36 states. 36 out of 50 states have it regardless if it's medicinal or recreational. They have it legalized there, right? And so as a veteran, you know what I'm saying, this is one of the things I talked with Rico about, is that if you're on medication, say you're on heart medication, you got to take heart medication every day, a certain time every day, right? But if you cross state lines, you're still able to take your medication with you, right? But God forbid I leave Oklahoma with an eighth, and I try to go to Texas or freaking Kansas, and they don't have the laws that we have here. I'm gonna go to jail for my medicine. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to jail because of my medicine, and this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because I crossed the state line.
Yeah, national legalization, and coming from another angle as well. We really need to see it happen nationally. We need to see these states embrace it all. And for us as a CBD business, and we'll always be a CBD business, whether we get into other facets of the cannabis industry,
Right.
We're going to be a CBD. That's what we started as. That's like our core. But another thing it's going to do is it's going to free up advertising, because the biggest issue we have is letting people know the product that we got.
Right. No, absolutely.
And how it can help them, because we can't make medical claims. We can't do this. We can't do that. We have ads out there, and people are like, well, what is it? What's your product do? And I'm like, well, sorry, but we can't advertise that. You got to go.
And it sucks. Yeah. And it sucks because
there's all these stupid rules because it's not legal federally. So like Facebook and Google and Amazon won't allow you to do any of this stuff because they don't want to, it's legal here, not there. So they just say, can't do it.
Can't do it. Right. And so what you guys don't understand. So this is why I was excited to bring Matt on. So Matt is one of the owners of Innovative Extract, right? You got a partner, right? You got a partner, right? So he's co-owner of Innovative Extracts. I can't even say that shit. Innovative Extracts. So he's in CBD. He's in the CBD game. He's in the CBD business. He's an advocate for medicinal CBD and fucking cannabis, man. So this is what's great. This is what I love about doing my show, right? Is a Stone Vetter, but it's like, I've actually had a vet come to me and said it's offensive to be called the Stone Vet, and I'm like, why is it offensive, dude? And he's like, because now you're just like, it's a derogatory term, being stoned. I was like, if you look at it that way, then yeah, I guess it could be derogatory if you're looking at a Stone Vet. For me, a Stone Vet is a guy who's chill, who's actually came to terms with not getting on fucking medication, and is actually treating himself. He's understanding how to treat himself. away from the pharmaceuticals.
Why people offended so easy, man?
It's so easy. You know what I'm saying? I said, it's the name of my show. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I appreciate your support, but don't watch it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm the Stone Vet. I like to be called the Stone Vet because so I work for a government job, and like they said, it's still federally legal. That's why I'm fighting for this legalization, because it's legal in my state. So when they legalize it across the country, I'm gonna be good to go because it's legal in my state, and I'm legal within my state, right? And so when I'm able to start smoking again, they can't say you can't do that because you're a federal employee. Well, bullshit, because it's federally legal now. You know, but they put me in for a top secret clearance. I'm not required to have a top secret clearance, but they felt as though I needed one. So they put me in for one, and one of the last questionnaires in it asked, do you use illegal products? And I asked my security man, I said, what do you classify as illegal? He's like, well, THC. I said, well, in my state, it's not illegal. It's legal in my state, and here's my card. I have my medicinal card. I'm within my legal limits. I live in Oklahoma, yet yes, I work for the federal government, but I live in Oklahoma where it's legal. Why can I not use it if I'm legal within my state, you know? It was a whole big ordeal. So my punishment for the next 2 years is to drug test every 2 weeks for the next 2 years. That's my punishment. And I was like, you motherfuckers, dude. I was like, whatever. I said, okay. But, I mean, understanding the medicinal benefits, because it allowed me to focus on my job more because I wasn't in pain anymore. I wasn't hurting anymore. My anxiety, my anxiety has subsided. My depression has subsided. My pain went away, and I was able to focus on my job. So I was able to I was able to come to work and do my job every day and focus on it, you know? And that's what I tell people. A lot of people are like, well, if you're stoned, you're not going to do shit but veg out and watch movies. I said, no. I said, are there Saturdays that I do that? Yeah. But you have to understand the medicinal benefits. What strain are you smoking? Is it a hybrid? Is it an indica? Is it a sativa? What is the terpene profiles in it? Like, and you already know the terpene profiles. Being in the game, Matt, I understand you already know how many terpenes there are. There's a ton of different terpenes.
I learned, so you got a guy here in the cannabis business who, prior to getting into the business, never touched it. Never, ever.
Right?
I was 38 when we got into this, and I never, in my 38 years of life, I never touched it.
You never touched cannabis, right? Look at you.
Never. But I learned, I tell you what, I learned about it. And
it opens up your eyes, right? You being older, you being
blown away by the benefits. Like I was opposed to it prior to learning about it. Like, so I got educated on it, understood the benefits of it, personally watched loved ones of mine who were maybe on antidepressants or on different types of pain medication and everything get off of all of that stuff because they were using cannabis, in particular just CBD, not not even the medical cannabis, which can have different benefits so witnessing all that firsthand and watching people get off of prescription medications that has side effects that they'd be on one medication, but they're on 3 others to counteract side effects from that medication. After 3 months of taking CBD, just be doing CBD.
Right. And that's the biggest thing I try to tell you guys. I mean, when you start using stuff like CBD, you start using cannabis, that's one of the things I try to tell you guys to educate yourself on. Understand the strain it is. What strain is it? Is it a hybrid? Is it an indica? Is it sativa dominant? Is it, if it's a hybrid, is it indica dominant or sativa dominant? What is it? And this is what I tell you guys, journal. You guys got to get a journal. If you guys are going to start using cannabis, start using CBD, keep a journal so you know exactly how it's making you feel, so you can educate yourself and understand, okay, well, I'm smoking wedding cake. Wedding cake has this terpene, this terpene, this terpene. It made me feel anxious, or it made my depression come up, or it made me feel lonely, or it made me feel this or feel that. Like I tell you guys, every flower is different. It's like I tell you, you smell a rose, you smell a lily, you smell a dandelion. They all have different smells, right? Because that's a terpene profile that it has for that plant. With cannabis plant, like Matt knows, there is a ton of different strains out there. Even with hemp and cannabis, you have so many. You got Blue Dreams and Wedding Cake and Nightwalker and Skywalker, and you name it. You got all these different names, but they're all different strains. They're all different strains of cannabis, and sometimes they're mixed together. Sometimes they're their own strain. And Gorilla Glue. If you look at Gorilla Glue, I think they're on 6 different Gorilla Glues now. If you go to the dispensary, I think they got 6 different types of Gorilla Glue. Each one of them have a different terpene profile. You know. Yep. And this is what I try to tell you guys to educate yourself on. Journal. If you start using CBD, regardless if you use Rafa 180, so you go to Innovative Extracts and you start using their CBD, what type are you using? Over here, over at Rafa 180, they just went through a Can-Take Labs, just went through a whole different label change. Now you don't have your 500, your 1500, your 2500. Now it's a platinum. Now you're going platinum, silver, gold, emerald. They have a ruby now. You know what I'm saying? And each one of them provides a different medicinal benefit to it. And I'm sure with your CBD oils itself, each one of them provides a different benefit. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you go from a lower strength to a higher strength of it. You know?
Yeah, we have stuff specific for sleep, specific for pain, specifically designed for pets. You know, it's
right.
different ailments, different types of product like that. We have topicals, different ways to ingest it. You know, obviously the most effective way is sublingually.
Sublingually,
Smoking or vaping is very, very effective. But you know, typically people don't do that unless they like to smoke. So,
right. No, absolutely.
You cast the broader net with, you know, the oral stuff, like whether it's you know, you take a gummy, rub a cream on, take it sublingually. It's just different ways to administer the CBD.
Absolutely. And like I tell you guys, with CBD is one of the things, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of people who have watched the show. They're like, well, CBD don't work for me. I'm sure you probably ran into people like, well, CBD don't work for me. It works, but are you on the right dosage?
Right dosage. Have you been taking it long enough?
Right.
Like I've talked to people who it's taken up to 2-3 months for them to feel the effects of it. Really. Right. And I've talked to other people feel the effects right away.
Right.
Like you have to understand everybody's body is different. Yeah, the dosage they're taking is different. How their body reacts to it's different. So there's that. And then we have other people. We have a subscription service, and we'll get people. We have enough people that, you know, we have subscriptions filling every day now, and you get people canceling on you. It's just the nature of it. They right. subscribe. They're subscribers for 6 months, and all of a sudden they cancel. And I always make it a point to follow up with those people and just say, hey, no problem. We'll cancel it for you. Can I just ask you why? You know, sometimes it's they stock up on too much of it. Other times it's, well, I don't feel like it's doing anything for me anymore. And my question is always, okay, are you feeling worse? Well, no, I was feeling bad. I had this pain or whatever. I started taking your CBD. Now I'm feeling good, but I'm not feeling any better. I'm like, well, you got there. And I'm always welcome. I'm like, listen, I don't want you to quit taking it, but go ahead and quit taking it for a couple of months, because I know they're going to be back as a customer, because it's inevitable. I have it happen, you know, dozens of times at this point where people take it, it helps them, then they feel like it's not helping them progress anymore. Like, I don't know how far you want to progress, but right. It's not helping them progress anymore. They quit taking it. Now that pain starts to creep back in.
Right.
And yeah, the anxiety, and they're not sleeping as good. And it's like, they hit us back up and they're like, oh shit, I need to get back on this.
No, absolutely. Like, and we've had the same thing. My wife has had the same thing with Rafa 180. You know, like you said, they take it and then they stop because they're like, well, I feel better. I feel better than when I did before I started. And so yeah. I'm going to stop taking it. And like you said, within a couple of weeks, within a month, they're like, I feel like shit again. What's going on? Why do I not feel good? And a lot of people don't understand that. Well, you stop taking your medication. It's like any medication the doctor prescribes you, right? If you go to the doctor's office and they prescribe you new medication, what does he usually tell you? Come back in a couple of weeks and let me know if it's working for you. Because if it's not working for you, he's got to adjust the dosage. Do I got to give you more? Do I got to give you less? Or do I got to give you something completely different?
Yeah.
You know, and you working with Innovative Extracts, I'm sure it's probably the same game tempo as Rafa 180. You want to make sure that you get the people the right dosage. What are you dealing with? How are you what is it that you're trying to achieve by taking CBD? What is it? That's one of our biggest questions.
And the right product. Like a lot of times people, we have at this point 0 negative feedback.
Right.
We did have one bad review, and I reached out, and I'll use this as an example. We had a bad review. Woman writes that this stuff doesn't work, blah blah blah. So I hit her up, and I'm like, hey, listen, that we'll refund you your money. We strive for 100% satisfaction, whatever
Right.
we got to do. We got to eat a little cost or do whatever. We just want people to be happy because it isn't for every single person.
No, it's not.
Now,
Yeah.
in this case, what happens though with a lot of times is I'm like, well, what was it? She's like, this stuff doesn't work. I'm like, well, what's the problem? She's like, well, I've got like carpal tunnel pain in my hands. I'm like, well, you bought our muscle cream. And she's like, yeah, I put it all over my hands and like it might help for a little bit. I said, listen, a topical is a temporary relief, regardless of who you buy it off of. It's temporary relief. It wears off, especially on your hands. You're touching stuff, it wears off very quickly too. I said, if you would have asked me, I said, you'd have been better off buying, a tincture.
Right.
And give it a little bit of time to work. I said, I think you got the wrong product. I said, I'll tell you what. I said, keep the product, keep the cream. I said, I'm going to send you a tincture free of charge. I sent her a tincture free of charge. This woman she's bought off of us every month for the last 18 months.
And that's what I tell a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I had Johnny Mo Media here not too long ago. He's like, he said his shoulder, his rotator cuff's been fucked. Like it's bone on bone. He ain't got no cartilage in there. And he's like, I put that balm on. He said it's not immediate, but he said within about 30 minutes, he's like, I get some kind of relief. And I said, that's not even our med balm. That's just our regular balm because our med balm has CBG in it. And like I said, Matt's in the CBD game. He understands CBG, CBN, CBD, CBDAs, and all the CBDs that are out there, right? And this is what I tell people. I said, like you said, you're dealing with the lady with the carpal tunnel. The topicals are amazing. They're great.
They're great, yeah.
But now when you start using a sublingual, now you're defeating the problem. Now you're attacking the problem internally and externally.
So that's what I always try to do when we have someone buy the topical is get them to understand that. Like the topical, no matter where you're applying it, our topical works great. But you're only going to get relief for a few hours or whatever. Maybe more depending on where you're applying it and everything. So I always try, we bundle them up. We sell bundles. So like I always try to sell a tincture with a cream because I know it's not necessarily I want to get someone to spend more. I know I'm going to have a more satisfied customer if they do both. So.
No, absolutely, and that's what I try. Like I tell you guys, like you gotta tell you guys that I'm trying to educate, that are trying to figure out, will CBD work for me? Will it not work for me? You know what I'm saying? Like that, like Matt was saying, we've had customers like that as well at Rafa 180. They'll do topical and they'll be like, oh, it held, but I was like, what are you dealing with? Well, carpal tunnel. Well, if you start taking a sublingual, now you're treating it internally. You're going to treat what's hurting you internally, and when you add the topical to it, now you're attacking it from both sides, internally and externally, and you're going to find more relief on it.
That CBG is great for inflammation. Great.
Absolutely. That's why I try to tell a lot of people, because you guys know, you guys go to the VA. I guarantee every last one of you guys that go to the VA that get medication, one of the medications they give you, ibuprofen or naproxen. Guaranteed. It's always on your order. Every time you order it, it's always there. And that's why I try. It's an anti-inflammatory. That's why it's there, And so that's why I try to tell you guys and try to educate you guys. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Trying to advocate and get you guys taken care of, man. Trying to get you to understand what is the medicinal benefits of CBD and cannabis, man. But like I tell you guys, if you guys have any questions or are trying to figure out what's going on, man, reach out to Rafa 180 or hit Matt up. Matt up over at Innovative Extracts. If you want to try his products and see how they work, I'm going to have all Matt's information down below, man. So, yeah. So, we're getting close to the end of the show, man. I'm glad I got to bring Matt on, get to come over and hang out with me and hang out. And he's another advocate. He's a vet that's advocating for the medicinal benefits of hemp, CBD, and cannabis, right? And so, Matt, I appreciate what you're doing there with Innovative Extracts, what you continue pursuing and how you're getting to do what you're doing, man. I'm glad there's more people who are waking up to the medicinal benefits of a natural remedies. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my goal, is to defeat the pharmaceutical companies as best as I can. I ain't got money like them, so they're going to beat me. But if I have more people advocating if I got more people like you advocating with me to say, hey, let's defeat this, let's defeat pharmaceuticals and get this shit rolling, then, we can help our brothers and sisters save more lives that are dying to the opioid addiction that the VA is continuing to give us. You know what I'm saying? You got any way you want to finish this out, Matt? How you want to promote what you're doing and let people know, hey, you can find your purpose after getting out.
No, man, I want to thank you for having me on today. I love what you're doing. I love that you're advocating. I love that you're advocating for vets as well. It's something that we definitely need to do. It helps so many people. I mean, my business partners are a father-son team. They're both former Army guys as well. The father, farmer, strict religious guy, wasn't sold on the cannabis space in the beginning.
In the beginning, right?
Then we got into it, and he started taking our CBD that we were making. He started realizing benefits from it from years of working on the farm with hand pain, joint pain, different things like that. He saw all these amazing benefits that it had, and man, he's the biggest advocate now.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's I think it's a great cause. What I'm gonna do is when you get live with this, when we can share it, we'll share it out on our awesome. Our Instagram, our Facebook. We got a few thousand followers out there. Get the word out. Anything we can do to help you grow your business, your podcast, we'd love to do that. And then you guys, we're always available to be hit up with any questions. You can check us out. Our website's www.ie-cbd.com. And I will mention, we offer 25% off to veterans, first responders, on everything all the time. You get 25% off. All you have to do is hit us up. Just provide us some proof of service. That's all we require. And we get you logged in as a customer and give you a special code to use where you can get 25% off of everything, even sale items. So we try to take care of our veterans and first responders.
Absolutely, brother. That's freaking awesome, Matt.
A big thing, like I said, it's hard for us to advertise. So, a follow, a share, a like on social media, that goes a long way for us. We've grown our social media organically. So just thank you for having me, and appreciate you guys and everything that you're doing.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it, guys. Like I tell you guys, don't forget, go check out. I'm going to have all Matt's information in the description box below. Go reach out to him. See him. Hey, if he's in Pennsylvania, he's actually got a store in Pennsylvania, even the Pennsylvania area. Like I said, I have all the description, everything to contact him, how to check him out, check out his stores down below. Like I tell you guys, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Like he said, all my followers are all organic. I don't pay for any of you guys following me. If you share it, that's how we grow. That's how we're able to grow this page and get the information out to more of our brothers and sisters, so we can eliminate that 22 a day. Because that's our end goal, eliminating that 22 a day. Because I hate losing a brother or sister because they didn't want to reach out. Because guess what? We're stubborn as hell. We're not going to reach out and say we need help. Hey, I need help. So I reach out to my brothers like Matt. Hey, Matt, I need some help. I'm trying to figure something out. How are you going about doing this? And that's what we do, is to help support each other on a regular basis, man. Don't forget to check out Rafa 180. Rafa 180. Rafa180.com provides you 100% THC-free medicinal grade CBD, man. Like I tell you guys, there's plenty of CBD everywhere. Innovative extracts. Rafa 180. The way you want to go, how you want to do it, go and check them out. Check out. You're getting discounts everywhere, man. Because why? We want to help you. We want to help you get off the pharmaceuticals and get to the natural remedies, man. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Friday, man. Go do something amazing. Remember, this world needs you. They need everything that you're doing for us, man. Remember, here at the Stone Vet, we got your six.
When I'm invading your country, it's still with honor and discipline. Throw my guns like onyx, dressed in camo with ammo for every situation I handle. They got us marching and stepping by my platoon, you get trampled. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. Nothing changed by complaining. I adapt and overcome. I make the best out of situations. I stay alert for my enemies.